Okay, so my name is LAKEY, and I want to talk about TFT and mostly the item changes. So the more I've been playing TFT, and the more I play lots of other competitive games, the more they remind me of roguelikes. In roguelikes, you get your champ, whatever it is, you get your character, and you build them up over the course of the game using things that you find. At the end of that run, after you've lost or won the run, what happens is that you start over with another same base character, and you go pick up items and stuff again, you build up your character. And that's a lot how League of Legends, TFT, some other games, they're just like that. Now, in this case, we're gonna talk about TFT. So there have been a lot of complaints about item RNG and stuff like that. And I understand. In roguelikes, there are games where you have your perfect run where you roll all your favorite items. There are games in TFT where you get your 3 stars mad early, you dominate the game with your large win streak. When you play normal league, there are games where top laner just goes 12-0 and you don't have to do anything. Nothing you can do can cause you to lose, right? That's not what competitive games are about, especially the ones that have RNG in them, right? So when I'm talking about competitive gaming, I'm talking about playing solo, duo, flex, TFT, Magic, Hearthstone, whatever it is. I'm talking about those. What's important is not what you do when you have that perfect setup. What's important is what you do when you don't. So there are games where you have your level 1 Draven that you just got, you have 25 HP left, you have level 2 Garrett, level 2 Darius, right? And games where you take that really far, you take that to top 3, you take that to first place, those are games that are important. Games where your top laner's 0-9, 1-15, whatever it is, those games are the ones that matter. Now, I'm reminded of a saying that I used to, like, there are tons of sayings about this, right? But I'm reminded of a particular saying that my coaches tell me. And it's like, yeah, everyone can run when well rested, right? It's about how far you can go when you're tired. When you're having that bad game, that bad day, and you flip it around, right? That's what's really important. That's what fun is made of. In games like TFT, we have the itemization changes. Granted, we know they need changes. Riot knows they need changes. They've already said in the post that they're going to make it so that you're guaranteed at least one. But you know, every other mini will still have a chance. So like, even though we'll get our item from every camp and we'll get an item from the carousel, there will still be times where people have much more items than we do, right? And I'm telling you, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Winning over somebody who has 2 forces of nature, it's amazing. Him getting to have 2 forces of nature is amazing. Like, that creates really fun scenarios for everyone. The way that these games are played, right? You get to play more than once. It's not like you fight one guy once and that's the game. What happens is that you get to play one ranked match, then another, then another, then another. You get to go to a tournament, then another tournament. Like, there are vast thousands of games to play. So to look at it and be like, well, item RNG is what's making the game bad. Maybe, but over time, everyone should experience the same amount of RNG, right? There should be times where you get the low roll, times where you get the high roll. And the best players, they'll win when they're supposed to when they get the high rolls, but they'll win sometimes with those low rolls. They'll do a lot with a little. If that weren't the case, then we wouldn't have it so that, you know, the same few people are known for doing well in Hearthstone. Like, we wouldn't have stuff like that. We already have, we've only had TFT, what, a week or so? We already have people who are known, this is one of the best TFT players. He always does work. Because the game's about a lot more than getting first place. This is not one of those binary games where you got first or you got last. This is a game where your placing matters. We had a tourney the other day, and it's based on your placings, your cumulative placings. So like getting first when you get a high roll, and then turning that 7th place RNG into a 3rd place, like, that's huge. And that's what matters. This next part's about people, right? Now, people are complaining, right? First off, people that are bad at video games, people that don't know what's going on. Riot has been balancing League for an eternity. People might complain about League all the time, but they still play it. And the only other game that's ever come close to sitting atop the throne with League is Fortnite. And that game's also riddled with RNG and stuff like that. They have a competitive circuit, and you know, the best player doesn't always win, right? But you can find the best player consistently getting these top placings. That'll always happen. Now, what I want is, this is like almost a message to Red a little bit, right? I want them to ignore these people. These people that don't know what's going on, they don't understand that whenever you make changes that reduce variance, right? You reduce RNG, reduce variance, which makes it so that the better player is even more likely to win. The best player is gonna win regardless, more at the end, right? But you increase the amount that that best player gets to win. You also make it more boring. There are less comebacks, less exciting things, less triple force of natures, because everyone will just be running whatever the optimal builds are, right? But this RNG forces you to use the rest of the game. Now, these are the same people that will look at the game, they'll scream that the game isn't what it's supposed to be, and they'll go play something else afterwards, after they get what they want, because they don't realize the slow creep of boredom. Every time you reduce variance, it's a little more boring. And before you know it, they're sitting in a game that they don't really feel like playing. They look at it like, yeah, this is a good game, I just don't play it. Why? Because you looked at it and you kept changing it until it was no longer the thing you fell in love with. And I'm afraid that's what people are going to do to TFT. They're gonna sit around, there'll be no variance, no fun, they'll be like, oh yeah, this is stale. Because it will be stale. We need the RNG. Think of other long-lasting games that still exist that are full of RNG. Fortnite, League, people still play those solo duos. People still play flex. This is riddled. You get fucking four randos on your team, right? But you're expected to climb anyway. Why? Because if you're better than everyone else, you will win more games than they will win because you guys all have the same set of RNG to finish everything. Stop complaining about the game. Play it out. They'll fix whatever bugs there are. You guys are gonna ruin the shit. That's all. And thanks, Matt. Ooh, ooh.